where we're talking this month about let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. That's our theme for the month. And I wish I could see everybody so I can say how many people are committed to that 100% commitment to peace this month that I had asked you at the beginning of the month to be committed, 100% committed to peace. And I see a couple of people with post-it notes on their heads. I can see on the Zoom. And I'm really excited about that. It's really great that you are committed to peace. And if you haven't started yet, you can start right now. And if you fell off the wagon, the good thing about the wagon is you can always get back on and fasten your seatbelts when you get back on. So choose love, choose peace. That's what we're choosing this month. We're choosing peace. We're choosing peace. We're choosing to allow peace to begin with each one of us. And there's so many ways that as we know that we can do that. Today, I'm talking about a beacon of light, a beacon of light, a beacon of light. You know, when we move into that place of light, that light is a part of the peace. This is a part of the peace that we can experience just from being in the light, being a part of the light, following the light. And that's what I'm encouraging us to do today. You know, this season is a time of the season of light, the season of love, the season of peace, the season of joy. That's what we think about when we think about this Christmas season. And even though that's traditionally what we think of when we think about the Christmas season, the holiday season, light, love, peace, joy, we don't always experience that. Everybody doesn't always experience those qualities. And we recognize that this can be a time when there's a lot of sadness, particularly in the things that we are experiencing in our world today, in the world of facts today. We have a raging pandemic. We have a lot of losses that have been happening, loss of life, loss of loved ones, loss of jobs, loss of income, loss of community, a sense of loss of connection. And, you know, in all of that, in the midst of all of that, there's that beacon of light, that beacon of light. You know, a beacon is a guidepost. A beacon is usually on a tower, it's high on a hill, so that it usually at sea or someplace where we can see it. If there were ships coming in, there was a lot of fog or a lot of darkness, that lighthouse, that guidepost would be there to show the way. So that the ships could move forward. And well, you know what? We are like ships. We're like ships passing in the night. And so that beacon of light that is the power and the presence of God, that one presence, that one power, that one life that is our very life, that beacon of light is there for us always. It is that guide, that lighthouse that is always standing tall, standing high, calling us up higher so that we can see our way. We can find our way out of the darkness. We can find our way into the light. And that's what I'm encouraging us today to do, to find our way to the light. Always look up, keep looking up, no matter what's going on, keep looking up, keep walking forward, keep moving forward. You know, Ernest Holmes says that light was the first great revelation of divine creative energy that called us all into being, all living things into being. That first great revelation of the divine creative energy that called all living things into being. And we were all called into being by God saying, let there be light, and there was light. Let there be light, and there was light. And you know, that light is always right where we are. That light is always right where we are, always surrounding us, always enfolding us, always leading us, always guiding us. And the thing for us to do is to look up to the light, look up to the light, no matter what's going on, no matter what's going on. Acknowledge what's going on, yes, and know that there's that light. There's that light that is there for us always. And that's what we want to do. We want to know that it's there, to follow the light, to allow ourselves to walk in the light, to allow ourselves to walk in the light and to allow it to pull us forward. And so I invite you, let's take a breath right now. I invite you not to walk on the outskirts of the light. Don't be on the outskirts of the light. Walk in the light. There's so many things that would call us back into the darkness. You know, there's There's so much talk of darkness. There's so much talk of tragedy. There's so much talk of how dire circumstances are. There's so much talk of things that would just pull us down. And what we have to do is to keep looking up and to know that the darkness can be dispelled by the smallest amount of light. The darkness can be dispelled by the smallest amount of light. You know, we've talked about, we've always heard how a small candle can dissipate the darkness. Just the light of a single candle can dissipate the darkness. And, you know, with technology today, just the light from your cell phone can dissipate the darkness. You can be in a dark room and turn the light on your cell phone, or open your phone and turn it on, and there's light. The darkness will be dispelled. So the light is the absence of darkness. And so we're always looking to the light, so that no matter what's going on around us, we can keep walking forward with hope, with possibility, with the knowing that there's that power and that presence that's always with us, is always guiding us, is always directing us, is always moving us forward, that's always protecting us, that is always, always, always guiding us, that is always that beacon of hope for us, that beacon of hope, that beacon of hope. And so what we want to do is to recognize that darkness is a sign of separation, because it brings us into that place where we are feeling separate from God. We're feeling separate from all that is. When we are moving into the darkness, it's because we're feeling separate from the light. We're feeling separate from the light. And so when we let go of those things that would separate us, when we let go of those things that keep calling us back, conversations that we have with friends, things that we hear on TV, things that we hear on the news, predictions of what's happening in the world, predictions of what's going to happen in the world, predictions of how bad things are going to be, predictions of all those things that could keep us down and keep us looking down. And so I'm inviting you not to engage in that, not to engage in those conversations, not to engage in those thoughts. Look up to the light, look up to the guidepost, look up to that tower, look up to the lighthouse, and keep walking forward. Keep walking forward, because all the things that are going on now, all the things that are being talked about now, all the things that appear to be of darkness now, all those things are conditions. They're conditions, and they're all temporary. They're all temporary. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. The only thing that is permanent, the only thing that is changeless, is the power and the presence of God. That one mind, that one power, that one presence is that which is changeless, that which is permanent, that which has no beginning and no end. And so when we can keep that in mind and keep things in perspective, we get to know that all the things that are going on now, no matter how dire they seem, they will pass. And this too shall pass. And this too shall pass. No matter what it is, it's temporary. I think back on last year, this time we were preparing for the installation. Last year, this time, everything was exciting. We were really excited in our community. We were really excited. We were really preparing for it. We were really going for it. And it was a wonderful time. It was a wonderful time. And we all enjoyed it. And it was just a wonderful marriage between the community and me. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And it was temporary. The celebration was temporary. Every celebration that we have is temporary. Every negative condition we have is temporary. And so when we stay in the light, when we recognize that the only permanent thing, the only changeless is God, then we can remind ourselves to stay in the light, follow the light. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today, is follow the light, walk in the light. And as we walk in the light, our consciousness becomes illuminated. And as our consciousness becomes illuminated, then we get a chance to experience more freedom in our lives. We get a chance to experience more freedom because the light comes from within. Even though there's a light that if we were using the lighthouse metaphor or the lighthouse analogy, then that light is outside. It appears to be outside, but I'm talking about that light that is within us. That light that is within us, that light that never dims, that never, it may appear to be dimmed by those things that we allow to cover it over. those things that we can allow to cover it over, like negativity, hatred, uh, 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 anything that we think of that's darkness, anything that we think of that's blame, judgment, fear, all that stuff, doubt, all that stuff. All those are the things that condemn that light within us, that condemn that light within us. But when we allow that light to shine within us, when we allow that light to shine within us, then everything else is dispelled, because the darkness is dispelled by the light, as I said before. The darkness is dispelled by the light. And so the thing for us to do is to decide to be intentional about walking in the light, to be intentional, to be mindful, to pay attention to what you're saying, to pay attention to what you're thinking, to pay attention to how you're interacting with others, to pay attention to how you're living your life, how you're living your life, how you're walking through this life, how you're engaging with your children, how you're engaging with your spouse, how you're engaging with your friends, how you're engaging with coworkers, how you're engaging with yourself. And the question always is, am I of the light right now? Am I walking in the light right now? It's what I'm saying right now. Is this of the light? It's what I'm thinking right now. Is this of the light, or is this of darkness? Is this of darkness? Because if it is, then it keeps us feeling separate. It keeps us bound. It keeps us from being free to live our lives and to live the life that we were created to live. Yes, things that are going on now are not what we would have chosen for ourselves, but it's where we are. And so just being where we are, we can be free right where we are. We can be happy right where we are. We can be joy-filled right where we are. We can be love-filled right where we are. We can experience our best life right where we are, because the only time we have is now, ever, no matter what's going on. The only time we have is now. And so rather than looking to experience our best lives down the road, experience our best lives right now, because this is the only time we have. Experience our best lives right now. Ernest Holmes also says that as the light dawns, as the inner light dawns in our consciousness, then it frees up the outer life. It frees our outer life. It delivers the outer life from bondage. As the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. That's what he said. As the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. It delivers the outer life from bondage, because when we are walking in the light, we are free. We are free of all those things that would hold us back. We're free of all those things that would hold us back. So be in the light, walk in the light, and then allow your light to shine. Allow your light to shine. Sometimes, we will hide our lights under a bushel because we don't want to outshine somebody else. Have you ever been in that position? You don't want to outshine somebody else, or maybe that's too much, or maybe if I do this, that's going to be too much, or maybe if I do that, if I act a particular way, or if I allow myself to be all that I'm created to be, and to follow that guidance that is showing me how to show up now, then that might be too much, because so-and-so is not doing this, or my sister's not doing the same thing, or not living the same way, or my brother or my spouse or my parents, or whatever the case may be. Allow your light to shine. Allow your light to shine. Because with your light shining, it encourages the light of others. It encourages others to do the very same thing. When you are being all that you were created to be, when you're allowing your light to shine as brightly as it can shine, it's not shining all over anybody else, it's just shining. It's just shining. And when you allow that to happen, then it just may encourage others to allow their lights to shine. And as we all can allow our lights to shine, that's how we dispel the darkness all around us. That's how we dispel the darkness all around us. So dare to let your light shine. Dare to do those things that you really are good at. Dare to do those things that really speak to your heart. Dare to do those things that really may put you out front, put you in the spotlight. But dare to do those things that you're being guided, you're being directed to do. Dare to be all that you were created to be. Dare to be in the light. Dare to be in the light. Dare to walk in the light. Dare to let your light shine. Dare to find out what it is, how it is that your light is supposed to shine, and then allow it to just shine, 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 and then shine some more. Allow yourself to be in that place. Allow yourself to be in that place. And when we can be in that place of allowing that inner light to shine through us, when we can be in that place, then we get to the place where we can be the light. We can be the light. We can actually be the light. That light that is within, because we are all lit from within. The light comes from within because we're talking about God's light, the only light that is. And so we're all lit from within. I like to say that babies are lit from within. You can tell the way they smile and the way they have all this light around them. We're all lit from within. It's just that as adults, as we go through this life, other things can happen that kind of cover it up, that kind of dims our lights. But when we can remember that we are lit from within, then we can let go of the judgment. We can let go of the unforgiveness. We can let go of the hatred. We can let go of the blame. We can let go of the shame. We can let go of the guilt. We can let go of all that stuff. All that stuff that has piled on, piled on, piled on, and dimmed our lights. We can let all that go. And when we let all that go, then we can be the light. We can be the light. We can actually be the light. We can be the light. The light overcomes the darkness. The light overcomes the darkness. And as Ernest Holmes says, the light overcomes the darkness, not by combating the darkness, but by just being exactly what it is, light. The light overcomes the darkness, not by combating the darkness, but by being exactly what it is, light. And so we can be the light, not by combating, not by fighting, not by resisting, not by doing anything other than just being the light. And what we have to do is to remember that we have to stay close to our source, our light source. Stay close to that light source. Stay close to that source so that we are constantly being recharged, so that we're, the source of our light is God. And as we are close to that light source, we are constantly recharged. We are constantly recharged. We are constantly recharged. Every time we forgive somebody, we are recharged. Every time we forgive ourselves, we are recharged. Every time we practice love, every time we practice kindness, every time we extend kindness to someone else or to ourselves, every time we practice the golden rule, every time we do anything that is of the light, then we are recharging. We are recharging. We are recharging. We are reconnecting. We're reconnecting. We're reconnecting. We're reconnecting with our source. And when we reconnect with that light source, when we recharge, then our light shines even more brightly. And we become, when we decide to be the light, then we become the beacons of light. We become the beacons of light. We can become that beacon of light that stands on a hill for others to follow, that pulls others forward, that guides others. When we decide to be the light and be in that place of high consciousness, that's how we get to that hilltop. Be in that place of high consciousness, allowing our consciousness to be illuminated. When we decide to really be in that place, then others can see our lights and they can be guided by the light that we are holding as an example. They can see our light and then they follow that light, because sometimes it's our light that guides others out of darkness. Sometimes it's our light that gives others hope. Sometimes it's our light that makes others see that it's possible to live a different kind of life. It is our light sometimes that helps others to see that, there is a power greater than I am. There is a power in the universe that I can use. Yes, there is an opportunity for me to change my life. There is an opportunity for me to change my thinking. There is an opportunity for me to live a different way. There is an opportunity for me to walk in the light rather than walking on the outskirts of the light. There is an opportunity for me to have peace in my life. There is an opportunity. There's a possibility. There is a possibility of me having peace. There is a possibility of me experiencing joy. again. No matter what has happened, there is a possibility of having joy in my life again, because all of these things are part of the light. All of these things are a part of the light. So when we can walk forward, just being the light, being that guidepost, being that beacon of light, being that beacon of hope, then that's how we really get to live in oneness. That's how we really get to live in oneness. That's how we really get to live the lives that we were created to live. That's how we really get a chance to be what we were created to be all that we were created to be, and to have others see us and know that they have seen that one power and that one presence that is present, that is the life of each and every one of us. And so that's what I'm inviting you to do today. That's what I'm inviting you to do today. You know, when I was at Agape, the Agape choir used to sing a song called the Light Chant. It was open your heart, let the Lord have its own way. Open your heart, let the Lord have its own way. Be in the light, God's will is the way. Let faith be your sight. Let faith be your sight. God's will is the way. Be in the light, oh, be in the light. And then it ends with, you are the light. You are the way. You are the light. You are the way, because the only way that God can express for us is by expressing through us. The only way that God can express for us, work for us, is by working through us. And so if we are at one with God, if we are at one with that light, then that light works and shines so brightly for others by shining through us. And as it shines through us, it calls up unto us all those who are walking in darkness, all those who need a light, all those who need a companion to walk this walk with them, all those who need to move out of the outskirts of light, the outskirts of love, the outskirts of peace, the outskirts of hope, which is where so many people are today. So if we let our light shine, no matter how small you may think it is, when we let our light of compassion shine, when we let our light of kindness shine, when we let our light of good works shine, when we let our light of prayer, move us forward and go out into the world, go into divine mind, then the world is lifted up. The world is shown the way. And we become beacons of light. We become beacons of light in this world that is showing the way, that is holding fast to what we know to be the truth, that we are each and all made in the image and likeness and out of pure spirit itself, and that there's nothing that can change that. And if we are made in the image and likeness and out of God itself, God is light, then that means that we are light. And if we are light, then we open up and just allow it to shine. That healing light shines. That healing light that shines, that lifts others up, and shows them the way. And so I invite you today to be that beacon of light that you were created to be, according to your own uniqueness, however you are being called to be the light. Follow that call, answer that call, say yes to that call. Say yes to that call to be that beacon of light that lights up the world. Let's take a breath as we move into prayer. So just moving into that place of knowing and sensing and feeling the presence of God, that knowing and sensing and feeling the only light that is, knowing and sensing and feeling this onlyness, this only mind, the only power, the only presence, the only life, the only light that is. This onlyness is my very life. This onlyness is the life of each of us here this day. And so I speak a word for each of us this day that we are each called to walk in the light. We are each called to be the light. And as this word has been spoken, I'm knowing that we are releasing anything and everything that would block that light, that would dim that light in any way. We release the judgment, we release the fear, we release the anger, we release doubt, We release anything that would keep us feeling separate from the all that is, feeling separate from that which created us, feeling separate from that only power that is our very life. And as we release and let go of that, I know that healing is happening in each and every life. I know that comfort is happening where there's grief. I know that there's healing happening in the body temples. I know that there's abundance and prosperity where there appears to be lack and limitation. As that is released in abundance and prosperity and all needs being met, it's happening for each and every person right here and right now. And I know that we each can walk forward in faith. Each can walk forward in knowing that God is always right where we are, always guiding, always directing, always showing us the way, always protecting, always lifting us up, always comforting. That power and that presence is always, always, always guiding, directing, always right where we are. And so I'm just knowing absolutely this word is going out right now to anyone who has lost a loved one, anyone who's affected by COVID-19, anyone who's affected by loss of any kind, that God, the great comforter, is right where each one is, comforting and healing a broken heart, comforting and healing minds, comforting and healing broken spirits. And that each and every one of us is moving into wholeness, moving into oneness, and just allowing that healing presence of God to move in and through every situation, every circumstance. And knowing that everything is working together for good right here and right now. Everything is working together for good right here and right now. And that divine light within each of us is shining ever so brightly, touching the dark corners, shining ever so brightly, healing everything, that radiant light of God. And so as I open the circle of prayer, I pause momentarily so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer this day. You may speak their names silently or loud, and you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I just know that God is in the midst of everything. God is right where each person is, guiding and directing, healing, protecting. This prayer goes out to anyone needing a prayer on this planet this day, knowing that in the midst of everything, God is. That powerful presence of God is everywhere, 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 and all indeed is well. No matter what the appearance may be, all indeed is well, for God is in the midst. And so I simply say, thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for the word spoken. Thank you for the perfect manifestation of the word spoken. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the light. Thank you for the light that you are and the light that we be. Thank you. And so it is.